Hello dear students. So today we are going to do chapter number first of class 8th. The name of the chapter is My Big Brother. The story of this chapter is about two brothers who have contrasting personalities and opinions. Over here, the younger brother is the narrator who tells us about life and his elder brother. The age difference between these two brothers is 5 years and 3 grades. So the story tells us about their lives and the relationship. It also tells us what the dynamics are between younger and older brothers. Moreover, it is a story that teaches us to listen to our elders. It states how no matter how equal we become with our elders, they will always have more experience. Therefore, it is not about the arrogance we as younger people should have, it is for giving them respect they deserve. Further, it also gives a great lesson on not being too arrogant, so we all must not to be so overconfident and ensure to respect and to listen our elders. This story is written by Munshi Premchand, who is one of the most outstanding Indian writers till date. His works illustrate everyday heroes and address social concerns and have inspired many other Indian writers. His works have been translated into English and Russians. So, this story we are discussing all about the relationship between two brothers. So, let's start the chapter. My big brother was 5 years older than me, but only 3 years ahead of me at school. He had begun school at the same age as I had, but he did not like to be an undue haste in such an important matter as education. He wanted to lay a very solid foundation so that a magnificent structure could be raised upon. So he spent 2 years where only one was needed, and sometimes even three. How can one raise a strong building foundation on a weak structure? I was 9 and he was 14. When he was in class 9, I was in class 5. It was his birthright to admonish me, and I was expected to accept his commands as law. So, this story begins with two brothers and how they are very different from each other. The younger brother tells the story from his perspective and lets us inside his life with his elder brother. So, the narrator is 5 years younger than his elder brother. It means like the narrator was 9 years old when the elder one was 14 years old. So, similarly, the elder one is 3 grades ahead of the younger one. The brother live together in a hostel and have very contrasting opinions. Like the elder brother is a hardworking fellow who studies hard. He wishes to build a strong foundation through his education. On the other hand, if we see, the younger one prefers playing all the day long and does not give much time to his studies. Like the elder brother always quotes his little one, always admonish the little one to be more sincere. Moreover, he shows himself as an example of disciplined student. My elder brother was studious by nature, always glued to his books. I never felt at home with books. To sit with a book for an hour was like climbing a mountain. At the first opportunity, I would walk out of the hostel into the open ground and toss pebbles into the air or fly paper butterflies, and I felt happier still if I could find a companion. We would jump across the walls or ride upon the gates and swing them to and fro to enjoy a motor ride. But the moment I returned to the room, I would freeze in my tracks to see my brother's red face. His first question would be, "Where have you been?" Always the same question in the same tone, and my answer was silence. I don't know why I couldn't tell him that I had just gone out to play. My silence proclaimed that I accepted my crime, and my brother would greet me with indignant words. If you study like this, you will learn nothing. Learning English is no child's play. Otherwise, everybody and his cousin would be regular experts in English. You have to strain your eyes and drain your blood. Only then one can attain this knowledge. Even great scholars can't write correct English, and you are such a blockhead that you don't learn from my example. See how hard I work. Have you ever seen me going out to attend any shows and fairs? Even then, I'm stuck in each class for 2 to 3 years. You will fritter your whole life away studying in one class. Why waste father's hard earned money? In this paragraph, we have already discussed that the elder brother was very studious by nature. Studious means the person who spends a lot of time on studying the things or reading the things. But the younger one was like he found it difficult to sit with the book for an hour or more than hour. He feels this task very difficult. He always fond of playing, or he always fond of to go to the ground, into the open ground, to get some air or to play with his friends. If he found any of the companion in the ground, he would be so happy. So sometimes he jump across the walls, or sometimes they swing them to enjoy a motor ride. But whenever he returned to his room, his brother always questioned him that where have you been. And he always, the younger one always remained silent, as he never have the courage to reply his brother that he was just gone out to play. His silence proclaimed here means that his silence always indicate clearly that he has accepted his crime to go out. And his brother always greet him, his brother always welcomed him into the room with so rough words that shows his anger. And he was so astonished after seeing his brother back to his room. He always says such things that if you study like in this manner, you will not get enough in your life. Even you have to strain your eyes or you drain your blood to get this knowledge. Even he gave examples of the scholars that even they are not able to write proper English. He just he named his younger one as a blockhead person and always gave him his own example. And with his tongue lashing words, the younger one always felt bad and always feel sad that how a person could be so harsh and cruel to one who is their own brother. Listening to his tongue lashing, I would burst into tears. My brother was an expert at art of giving advice. His pointed comments like aphoristic arrows would pierce my heart and demoralize me. I would sink into hopelessness and think of going home. Why should I waste my life doing something that was beyond my powers? My head would reel, but after a few hours, I would overcome this state of despondency and pledge to devote myself to study. In no time, I would work out for a timetable. So, after listening all these loud and severe scolding, he just bursted out into tears, as his brother was expert in giving advice and in expert in scolding. His pointed comments, his pointed things just hurted him so much that he always think of going back home. He would sink into hopelessness, and he feels so useless in his own. So after all these things, he was just thinking that why should I am wasting my time that is beyond my powers. He felt so disappointed after all such words. But after some times, he overcome from this state of demotivation, and he pledged himself and to that I will devote myself to the studies. And after some time, in no time, he prepared a timetable. So the timetable was that he will get up 6 in the morning. After that, he will have breakfast and sit down to the study. English from 8 to 6, arithmetic from 8 to 9, history from 9 to 9:30, then food and to school. After returning from school at 3:30, relax for half an hour. Geography from 4 to 5, grammar from 5 to 6, half hour stroll in the front of hostel, then eat. Translation 8 to 9, Hindi from 9 to 10, miscellaneous subjects from 10 to 11, then sleep. So he prepared this timetable in no time, but to make a timetable is one thing, to put into practice is another. The violation would begin on the very first day. The green fields, the gentle breeze, the run and chase in football, the speed, the quickness in volleyball, all these would drag me out and I would forget everything. And my brother would get his opportunity to admonish and sermonize. Even then, I was not able to give up to play. So, even after he had prepared a timetable, he was unable to implement in his real life, as it is said that being make a timetable is one thing, but to put into practice is another. So, he violated the rules in just the very first day, and the green fields, the gentle breeze, all these things just tempted him, and he just ran out. He just ran out to play, and his brother get another opportunity to admonish him, to scold him, and even after then he was unable to give up to play. So, after some time, the annual examinations ended. My brother failed and I passed, securing the first position in the class. Now he was just 2 classes ahead of me. For a moment, I thought of giving him a piece of mind, but he was so heartbroken that I sincerely sympathized with him, and I gained a certain amount of self esteem. I began to participate freely in games and sports. If he tried to meddle, I would tell him plainly, I have obtained the first position even while playing and having fun. Even though I had not the courage to speak out with such insolence, it was clear from my demeanor and actions. So now the annual examination has been ended, but now his brother again failed and the younger one passed with the first position. So he was so confident with all such things. The younger brother secures the first position in the class while the elder brother fails. So, this makes the younger brother too proud of himself. Even then, the elder brother keeps trying to discipline him and make him work hard. The big brother works harder this time while the little one does the opposite. To everyone's surprise, the younger one scored first position again while the elder one failed again. The little one got prouder while the elder one started working harder. One day, the younger one again just sitting and thinking that if now his brother said anything wrong to him, he will tell him clearly, I have obtained the first position even while playing and having fun, even though he know that he is not having enough courage to speak with such kind of tone or disrespectful behavior, but he was just thinking these things continuously. So one day when I returned after spending that whole morning playing, my brother pounced upon me. I can see you have become very smug because you have secured the first position. So one day when he returned after spending the whole morning in playing, his brother just started telling him or started scolding him again. He used such words that again the younger one become sad. You have become very smug. So here smug means that you have become very self-satisfied and self-confident that you have secured the first position. But my brother pride has not served well even the grades. You must have read about the fate of Ravan. He was the master of the whole class, called the universal king. Ravan was a universal king because all the kings of the world paid taxes to him. Even gods of love and rain was his slaves. And yet, what was his end? Pride totally destroyed him. What have you learned from this story? To have passed an examination is not enough. The real thing is the equation of the wisdom. To internalize whatever you study, you have passed only one class and your head has turned. In this way, you won't go very far. You must realize you did not pass through your hard work. It was a fluke. So now the pride of the elder one even not served even after all these great things that his younger brother secured first position. So now he started taking the examples like he take example about the fate of Raman. He explained him that Ravan was called as the universal king. He was universal king because all the kings of the world paid taxes to him. Even the god of love and rain was their slaves. And what was his end? He explained him in so rude manner, and he just scolded him again that after all such kind of things, his pride totally destroyed him. And what you are learning from this story, to pass an examination is not enough. So he was just trying to make him more disciplined and more punctual about his things. But the younger one was not sincere enough or not punctual enough to sit and study for the whole day. So his brother again started taking his own examples, and he was just trying to wash his mind, and he was just trying to fix the things in his mind that it is not a child's play. Even no one cares about the examiner. What's the difference between the things whatever you are written? And they torture student for their worthless things. He has taken example of mathematics that you will sweat between your teeth when you will have to crack the tough nuts of geometry and algebra. God alone save you from geometry. If you wrote ACB for ABC, you would lose all the marks. So no one cares to ask these cruel examiners what's the difference between ACB and ABC and why they torture students for these worthless things. But these examinations see only what is written in the books. They want students to cram everything, and this cramming is called education. So he was trying so hard to make him understand that if you really want to be good in studies, you have to be very punctual and very clear about your topics, because no one really cares what you have written. What they really cares that what it is what not written from the book. They want the students to cram the things from the book, and the cramming they called is education. His brother taken different example from different subjects to make him understand that you need to work really very hard if you really want to be a good and perfect student in your life. Getting good marks in one class is not enough to be stable in life. So he just said that, mark my words, if you really want to be successful, you have to work really very hard in your life, or you will regret later. So it was time for scold. If I got a scolding like when I passed, I might as well have enjoyed myself and failed. So the fearful image that my brother had drawn of the studies in his own class had terrified me. So whatever his brother said about this had terrified the younger one. But despite all the things, he would not be able to sit with the books for the whole day. So he would not miss any opportunity for sports because he loved sports, he loved to play. His self confidence, whatever he has attained, was disappeared, and he was just again remain unsatisfied with himself and disappointed. So it was the annual examination again, and once more time he passed with the first position, and his brother again flunked. His brother again failed. So I hadn't worked very hard. So the younger one hadn't worked hard, but he again stood with first position. Even the he was surprised, he himself was surprised at how this could be possible even after I had not done any kind of work. But my brother worked really very hard. He learned every word in the syllabus by rote. He studied till 10 o'clock at night, starting again at 4 o'clock in the morning and 6 to 9:30 before school. I felt sad for him. So the younger one felt very sad for his elder. The elder one was broke down when the result was announced. Even younger one was crying. But nothing can restrain both of the brothers, one from the playing and other from being rough and from being rude to the little one. So one evening, away from the hostel, the younger one was running like mad to capture a free floating kite. His eyes were turned upwards and riveted. Riveted means fixed. So he was just fixed, and his concentration was just fixed to the kite, free floating kite that was flowing in the sky. So he was fixed. My eyes were turned upwards and riveted on the air traveler that was reeling gently towards his downfall. Unmindful of the things around, all of a sudden I came face to face to my brother. He got hold of my hand there and shouted, "Aren't you ashamed of running after a one paisa kite? You don't seem to care that now you're in class 8, just one class lower than me. A man should have some sense of his status. What use is intelligence if it destroys your self esteem? I am 5 years elder to you, and even if you come to me to same class, and with the present system of examination, it is quite possible you would be my classmate next year, even ahead of me the year after. Even God cannot close a 5 year gap between you and me. You cannot even match my experience of the world and life, even if you become MA, DPhil or DLit." So while he was running to catch that kite, he all of a sudden he just came face to face with his brother, and his brother just caught his hand, and he again shouted him that, are you are not feeling ashamed of yourself that you are running after 1 year one paisa kite? You should feel shameful that you are in class 8 and you are still non serious about your studies. Even if I get with you in your same class, nobody can deny the fact that I have much more experience than you. I have much more experience in life and study than you. Even God cannot deny this fact. God cannot close this gap between you and me. You cannot match my experience even if you become MA or DPhil or DLET. So one can become wise only with the experience of life, not with the experience of reading the books or by just getting the first position. Our parents have worked so hard so that they could see us at the top of the world according to their wishes and dreams. Maybe our mother never went to the school and our father perhaps did not go beyond 5 class. We might accumulate all the knowledge in the world, yet they will always retain the right to admonish and correct us. So they know all the thousand things that we don't. So don't forget that you are equal now and free. I won't let you to treat the wrong path. And if you don't listen, I would use my hand. No matter if we accumulate or if we attain all the knowledge in this world, our parents or our elders retain the right to admonish and correct us. Our elders know the thousand things that we don't know, so we should not forget. Even if we are equal at some level, but we cannot be equal with some of the person who are our elder or who are elder by us in the experience and age. So if you won't listen to me, don't just force me to use my hand. The elder brother tells him that the grade gap can be erased, but the 5 years age gap cannot be. The younger brother then realizes that his elder brother will remain older to him. Thus, he will always scold him and help him get on the right path. So, after all such efforts, finally the younger brother realizes the importance of his elder brother and they both start running together after the kite. Even after so many efforts, the younger brother came to understand all the things whatever his wanted to make him understand. So, this story teaches us that no matter how intelligent we become, we must not forget to respect our elders and listen to their scolding, even it is for the right reason, as they want our goodwill only. So, this is all about this story, and I hope you all get the things very clearly. Thank you. Respect our elders.